BBC Radio Oxford. Macy Gray, I try. On the way, we're going to sort your weekend out because we've got the best of the TV for tonight coming up. But before that, oh yes, here we go. Well, ready for... Ba-da. It's the one, the only Van Connor. Hello, Van. How you doing this afternoon?
I am all good, and it's always a pleasure to speak to you, the one and only Watty. How you doing, sir?
Very good. It's been a while, hasn't it? Every now and again, when Adam can't be bothered, he lets me have a go.
Yeah, exactly.
He lets me have a play, a little play out, Watty. You can have a go. So it's good to have you on, and we've already made a prediction about one of the movies you're going to review in a moment, and we're eager to see if we predicted correctly about that. So what have we got this week for
we shall
you
see
to look at? Yeah.
Well, should we start with let's start with Anna Kendrick then. And do you remember a film called Sleeping with the Enemy from back in 1990 with Julia Roberts, where she was on the run from her sort of psycho boyfriend?
Yeah.
Imagine what happens if you basically remake that for millennials and you adjust it for cultural inflation, so that instead of being an out-and-out psychopath, instead he's just an emotional abuser instead. Oh. And that's what you get with Alice Darling, which is in cinemas from today. New movie from Mary Nye, who I predominantly knew as an actress. Anna Kendrick is the sort of 30-something New Yorker who has to make her excuses to sort of secretly go away with her girlfriends for a birthday weekend, all the while being tormented by the trauma of this incredibly overbearing and rather nastily abusive boyfriend. I've got a clip for you. This is from the trailer, just to set the tone of exactly how under this guy's gun Anna Kendrick really is.
Here we go. Okay.
Hi. Hey. Hi. I'm so sorry I'm late.
So for my birthday, we're going up north for a week. You're gonna come, right? Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it just came up. Just came up. Remember this thing I told you about? That sales thing? Turns out now they do need me to go.
Why?
I came up, I guess.
What am I gonna do without you? My beautiful girl.
It's not looking happy, to be honest, at the moment. It's got music in it.
Now. Yeah, this is not exactly what you call a rom-com. Like I say, the Sleeping with the Enemy comparison is very, very apt. Like I say, adjusted for cultural inflation, this absolutely plays to the same sort of market, but for the 21st century. I thought this was great. It's not exactly going to be a crowd pleaser, I don't think, because it's maybe a bit too nuanced for that. But Anna Kendrick is absolutely superb. Wunmi Mosaku from Loki is great as one of her friends as well. And Charlie Kerrick as the nasty boyfriend. Oof, I'll tell you something. He'll give you actual chills. Like he's seriously disturbing in this.
That's Alice Darling. That's the thing to look out for, and that's on now. That's on now. Is it worth going? I mean, is it okay if I'm going to try to impress someone? Should I go to this? I don't know if it's a good idea to go with a new girlfriend. Is that probably not the best idea?
Yeah, you might start yourself off on a bad precedent, I think, with this one if you're taking the new girlfriend to see this one, James, definitely.
Hey, I got an idea. Hey, why don't you go see Alice Darling? That'd be lovely. It's all about the future.
Well, I will say that after Don't Worry, Darling 6 months ago, it's turning out that every time someone puts the word darling in a movie title lately, it just turns out to be a really nasty time for women. Right, so this very much keeps that trend going. That's
a good tip there. So on to the next one, and this is the one, if I think it's the Steven Spielberg thing, isn't it? Obviously, you're going to love it because, as you're a professional film reviewer, you are always lovely about Steven Spielberg, just in case you interview him. There you go. That's my prediction.
If I ever get to interview Spielberg, believe me, it'd be one of the happiest days of my life. But I don't see it happening anytime soon. The guy's got to be retiring at some point soon. I mean, he's 70s already. And do you know what? He's at that exact age, it turns out, in which you start to get a bit retrospective and you want to make your own biopic. And that's what he's done here with The Fabelmans. So he's basically created The Legend of Steven Spielberg as a movie. This is his own story, effectively, but slightly fictionalized. The title in and of itself is kind of amusing because if you think about it, it's literally The Storymans, Fable, Storymans.
Yeah.
And so Steven Spielberg is here fictionalized as Sammy Storyman occasionally, which is kind of like Homer Simpson-level movie-making logic on a par with snakes on a plane. It's the story of young Sammy Fabelman, who sort of post-war Arizona, growing up. We see him from, I think, between the ages of 7 and 18. He sees Cecil B. DeMille's The Greatest Show on Earth for the very first time, and it blows his mind in much the same way as I imagine happened to a certain young kid named Steve once upon a time. And as he develops his filmmaking craft, he gets into movie making of his own. He starts to learn the tricks of the trade, and he makes his own sort of student high school films and carves a niche for himself as, the Dawson Leary of his day, which is a joke that comes up a lot through this. It also brings into focus his relationship not only with his peers, not only with his classmates, but also with his parents and between his parents as well. Here played by Paul Dano as his dad, Michelle Williams as his mum, and rather disturbingly, Seth Rogen as his uncle as well. I've got a clip for you, and this is Paul Dano trying to convince young Sammy, to make a movie purely to cheer up his mum.
Here we go.
I want you to make a camping trip movie. You can learn how the editing machine works while you do this. It'll make your mom feel better.
Yeah.
That last night when she danced in the headlights, that'd be great. Get to it tomorrow, okay?
Tomorrow's when we start shooting. Escape to nowhere. We're shooting all weekend.
Shooting
Dad.
next weekend.
We got like 40 guys coming to be in the movie. I'll work on all the camping trip stuff on Monday.
I'm asking you to do this now for your mom.
Yeah, and I said that I will, just not tomorrow.
Quite menacing, that guy, isn't he? Quite a menacing man. Oh, I want him.
He did play the Riddler. I mean,
I want to make you got to make a camping movie this weekend. No weekend, not next weekend. This weekend. Otherwise, nasty things will happen to you. Is it like that?
Well, I mean, this is why the guy was a Batman villain. And to be fair, he is drippy as hell in this. The whole film is quite drippy. It's quite patronizing Oscar fare in a sense. Like, every actor turns up here for what seems to be like a requisite number of monologues. When they make Fast and Furious movies and they have to keep, apparently they're contractually obligated to keep track of who gets hit how many times so that nobody's weaker than anyone else. It feels like they're doing that here with monologues. Like, okay, you can only qualify for Oscars if you have your requisite 4 monologues for your awards clips. The whole thing starts out playing as if it's Forrest Gump with movie making, yet it's patently about Steven Spielberg. If you didn't know it was about Spielberg, you would just watch it and think whoever made this has serious parent issues and needs to speak to a professional. And then, of course, you realize it's Spielberg, like, oh, there it is. Because, of course, that's stamped all over his work. It's really drippy. I mean, to the point that this thing is absolutely sodden. It's well enough shot, but it's a Spielberg movie, so it kind of has to be. I mean, the performances are good, but everything about it feels very boilerplate. And I wouldn't say that you're going to see much of Gabriel LaBelle, who, of course, plays our lead, sort of Sammy Spielberg or Sammy Storyman or Sammy Fabelman, whatever you want to call him here. I don't think you'll be seeing him in much else because he just feels like a kind of perfunctory Spielberg kid. And that's not got the best of track records, if we're being really honest. This is on limited release from today, it's worth pointing out. It's on wide release from next Friday. So you can see this in some cinemas from today, but you can see it in every cinema from next week. And put it this way, the fact that it has been nominated for exactly 1 BAFTA, and that BAFTA is for screenplay, kind of tells you that it almost felt like they had to give it something, but couldn't justify an awful lot. And that, for me, tells you everything you need to know about the Fabelmans / Spielbergmans / Storymans, which I don't think is even in the top 50 percentile of Spielberg movies.
Well, look at that. I hope he's not listening this afternoon.
So, sorry to disappoint on that one. Believe me, as a film critic, it feels like heresy to have to condemn a Spielberg movie.
Well, there we go. Well, that's it. There's a couple to watch. It's not an amazing week, is it? Have we got things that we look forward to over the next few weeks? Is there something to cheer us up?
Well, you know what? At least Gerard Butler's back next week with an action movie brilliantly entitled Plane, which might be one of my favorite movie titles of the year. And I hope it makes $1 billion and they have to greenlight a sequel and call it something like Truck or Boat, just to keep that series going. Definitely. I'm looking forward to that. Magic Mike's only a few weeks away.
There we go. I was on holiday over Christmas and went to the very place where the ship in Speed 2 crashed into.
Oof.
You know, so that big boat, they had a cruise ship. Somebody hijacked a cruise ship in it, and they couldn't stop it, otherwise it was going to blow up. And they had to crash it into a Caribbean island. I was at that very place where the ship, and there's no mention of it. Only the taxi driver mentioned it. He said, "This is where the ship crashed in that movie," and there's no plaque or anything.
Well, I mean, on the plus side, I mean, your taxi driver may in fact be the only person alive who actually remembers the movie Speed 2 Cruise Control, save for maybe Sandra Bullock or Jason Patrick. I think even Jason Patrick's tried to forget it by now.
Yeah, fair point, I suppose, yeah. Have a lovely week, won't you, Van? Lovely to chat to you again. We'll catch you again soon, and catch you next week on this show as well. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you.
Till the next time, good stuff.
She knew to California. She know that I adore her.